Hey, welcome to MPA Feedback Stream 37. I am the guild leader. Today with us we have Blayhub.
Hello.
We are we are missing Radium,
Yeah, it's
and
a
we don't
very sad
know
day.
where she is. All right.
Yeah.
But uh glad everyone who has joined us so far is here, and um uh if y'all can see, we got a new little animation on the screen. You can see when we're talking. I love it.
Finally.
All right. Yeah. Anyway, so this is the stream we do every week. This is for the MPA community, where members from the community submit their tracks, and we listen to them live here on Friday. And we give feedback. We take turns giving feedback. The hosts of the stream will, and so you can gain a new perspective on your music. And if you want to get your tracks on stream, look for the featured post in the community. You'll see it in the Discord and the Amino community. There's a submission form. You can just, submit your track there and come back next Friday for feedback. We encourage the people in the chat, by the way, to also give feedback. So as we're listening to the music, you can type
Yeah.
your feedback and say different things. So it's just get all different perspectives. That's why I like feedback. It's not like an end all thing, because music is, it's an art form, subjective. So you just get different perspectives. Really helps you gain, you know, direction for your track and stuff, and some insight. Hey, Clay and Kitsun and Miro, good to see you. All right, so other quick news. Not a lot right now. Actually, I was gonna I'm holding back something that I've already announced a couple times, which is our next competition. So I'll wait to announce that. But just a reminder, we are still playlisting on SoundCloud. We make a new playlist every month, and each month I get a little bit more picky with the music, because eventually I want it to actually be a place to go to find great underground music, not just any music. So, but what I do is, so if I see members posting music, I check it out, and if I think it's decent, it's not the best tracks always, but the decent to excellent quality, I repost it, I add it to the playlist, and these are MPA members and members that join the community. That's all I'm really focusing on. So um, if we're not following you, make sure you get your SoundCloud link, and we'll follow you. And you follow us, we'll follow you back and stuff like that. And if you're a member of the community and stuff, then you can post it in the Discord. There's share boxes there. Um, and or on the Amino or whatever. We'll make sure we have your SoundCloud. We'll follow you there, and we'll get in on the playlisting, and hopefully those playlists start getting some attention eventually and stuff like that. So that's really fun. And that's pretty much it as far as announcements. Other than the Discord, I really want to remind everybody that the Discord is a thing. There's a link in the Amino community if you haven't seen it yet, or if you're not a member yet. There's also a link on top of our in the YouTube description and the YouTube on and all our platforms. So just look for the Discord, join us there. You'll notice that it's been growing, and yeah, we're just gonna get as many of us, the active members, over there as we possibly can. So cool, join there. Be sure to like the video here. I'm the first one to like the stream. So boom, I like the stream today, and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. And I'll go ahead and pass this over to Blayhub.
All right. Yeah. So today we got 6 submissions. Yes, 6 submissions. And yeah.
6 submissions with no
That's
radium, unfortunately.
with no radium, no. But I think that means we're going to be able to go through all of them in time.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I think we should just start. I mean, yeah. We should just start. All right. The first submission for today is going to be Sliced, a work in progress by Fox of Work in Progresses. Have fun.
You make me wanna. You make me wanna get.
actually get like kind of annoying when I'm like hella hungry and then I look in here and all we got is like fucking sliced meat.
All right, so that was Sliced, a work in progress by Fucks of Work in Progresses. And Fug did leave us a message, which goes as follows. This is a work in progress that only includes a drop and a outro. Smiley face. All right, so, yeah, what did you think of Sliced, Geld?
Oh, all right. So we've heard a lot of stuff from Fox of many names, is what I'm gonna say. Call him. Call Fox. Fox of Whips. I think compared to all your other tracks, I definitely see the improvement, which is I always like to point that out when I'm giving feedback. Before I just give just general feedback on the track and about just just I just want to comment that yes, you are getting better. Definitely, your mixes are getting cleaner. I remember your first mixes were just I mean, for lack of a better term, just kind of like a trash mix, uh, ex- with in a sense, like even with the distortion and everything, it was just too much, too loud, and too harsh, and everything. And that's been dialed back. I would still say your sounds are not smoothed out in the way they could be, um, or soothed out. I know a lot of people are using that plugin Soothe to fix that problem with harsh synths, but people's been doing it for years without that plugin. Um, but yeah, you just definitely you want to get rid of harsh frequencies and stuff like that when you're doing those metallic synths and heavier distorted synths. But um, but so definitely improving. So you're getting better, and that's the right direction. That's the path we all want to be on. Is know we're getting better. Every track might not be the best song we would create, but as long as if little things are improving over time, you can feel good about yourself. But as far as the track goes, just technically, I don't know. It's not a complete track. It's just a whip. Hey, I see radio. It's just a whip, but I would say even with just what you got so far, the mix could be a lot better. And I'm talking about the mix as you go. I know some people just do a final mix down, but you really want to make sure you're making it a wide mix in this kind of music. Doesn't you still want to make it? You always want to make sure it sounds good in mono. And a lot of people focus straight on mono, make sure it sounds really good in mono. But when you do send it over to a good stereo mix, you want it to sound very wide with this kind of music, a lot of these synths and stuff. And your track sounds kind of narrow. It sounds kind of like tunneled. So I would say work on opening up the mix with you can do different panning techniques and different some effects to help that, but it's really just space. Like if you have a center focus, a really solid thing in the center is the center, then you can put things to the left and the right, and it has a contrast from the center to the left, center to the right, and you get a very wide mix. And you can work with layers. Sometimes if you're not getting a mono compliant sound when you go very wide with it, when you switch back to mono, it phases out. But what you want to do is then make two layers, and put one in the left, one in the right that are kind of different, but when they come together, they sound like one sound, but they're actually two different sounds. That way they're not really phasing. So things like that. You get a really wide mix, and also use the plugin wider. It's free. All right. I'm going to pass this over to Bleho.
All right. Yeah. Not really sure what to say. Especially since I've just sorry, a bit distracted because there's things happening. Radium is here now. So I had to adjust the positioning of things. Definitely something I wanted to avoid today, but anyway, it works now. So yeah. Anyway, okay, so Sliced. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of those styles that I said this countless times now. I'm not really a big fan of this style of music. It's very harsh, very, yeah, just a thing where I'm not really able to give much constructive criticism or any feedback at all, or even say anything, since I couldn't even really talk about just production things, technical things, because of how there isn't really a way to say how it's compliant with things, because obviously it's not, but it's maybe even the genre that you don't really care about these technical things. There's countless issues with this that I would criticize in any other thing, in any other recording, but obviously it's part of the style, so I couldn't say anything to it. um yeah. Super sorry. It's just really, I think I've discovered, I always say I listen to everything. I don't limit my listening experiences to genre. I don't really like the concept of what a genre implies. I mean, obviously you need this this categorization, but I'd never be the person to say I only listen to this, and I don't listen to anything else. I don't have a favorite genre. I mean, I do have one that is definitely preferred, but I do listen to others, and I set them at equal levels. I think this is one of the very few things where I could say I don't like the entire genre, and I've just ruined every possibility of saying anything about this kind of music again. But yeah, I'm really sorry. I can't say anything to it. This isn't criticism about you or anything. It's basically me saying I can't say anything to it in a really long and overcomplicated manner that was completely unnecessary. All right.
That's totally fair. I mean, and I think the style is like heavy rhythm and stuff like that. I guess it's
Yeah.
dubstep rhythm and stuff. It's fair. It's totally fair.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
I tried to give Fox some suggestions in the past, things where I thought, maybe this could be, maybe this could be taken in like a new direction, and maybe something about the genre could, change or be, pushing through these boundaries. But I think by now maybe it's not possible. Maybe it's just not possible. Maybe this genre is has to be this way and stuff. I wouldn't know what genre exactly it is. But it seems like none of the core values I see in the music that I enjoy apply to this genre. You know, none of the
right.
none of the core values I see in, for example, you know, telling a story. That's the main thing for me. I think music is a storytelling medium. This is, in a way, telling a story, although it is very, very limited and very it's a very short story. Then of course I value melody, I value harmony, I value audio quality, which is there to an extent. All of these, there's a small percentage of these elements there, but they're just not at all fleshed out. So the main focus is lying on these sound effects, and I think I could appreciate that. I think in some way I could appreciate music which has a focus on rhythm and sound design in a sense. But then this does too little of that, so it is sort of, yeah. And how I know it from Fox, so I don't go out to listen to this kind of music, of course, so I don't know any other artists. Maybe there's something I'd like, but the way this is done, it's very similar every single time we listen to it. I feel like it's the same track over and over again. I mean, it's obviously different, but it feels like it's the same character. It's the same feel every single time. It is always harsh. It is always loud. It's using the same kind of sounds, the same kind of rhythms. I mean, this batter bab batter batter batter. I mean, that's the same every single time. That's the exact same every. I'm gonna stop ranting about this. Anyway, yeah, I don't have anything to say about this. I took it even further.
That's fine. That's
that was
totally
completely
fine.
unnecessary.
And radio missed. So I think we should just go on to the next song, right? Or the radio. Did you catch any of that song?
No.
All right. Cool.
All
Well,
right.
since we have 6 submissions, let's move
Yeah,
on
let's
to
move on.
the next
And
one.
next time when I don't have anything to say, I won't explain for 10 minutes that I don't have anything to say. Okay, so the next submission is going to be Metallic Midnight by Purelemon. Have fun. All right, so that was Metallic Midnight by Purelemon. All right, Purelemon did not leave us a note, so we don't know anything about this. So we're just gonna assume that this was taken on by, I don't know, Sony Music International and whatever. Okay. Yeah. So what did you guys think? What did you think, Gild?
Right. I really like this track. I mean, it still needs a lot of work, so I don't. But I will say I do like it. I was recently listening to some uh, Monster Cat artist, the Fat Rat, and I was listening to some of his happier sounding tunes, and I was just really into them. And then groups like Hyper Potion, and some of these, and then even Nitro Fun, just these happier sounding EDM tracks that I really enjoy. Now, so I'm open to the style, even though I usually do like darker music. But personal preference aside, I would say this is a pretty neat track. Now, I think the mix needs some work and sound design. We've mentioned in the past that your sound design is very simple and you could use some more complex sounds. I don't mean complex as in like all this extra stuff added. Like you can still be very minimal, but as complex as an actual musical term for a tone, a complex tone versus a single sine wave. You more complex tone meaning texture to the tone. More easy, more pleasing to the ear kind of tones. And a lot of times it's not just the sound itself; it's what you do with the sound. Like when you hold out a note, you add a little vibrato and stuff like that. And I think I heard a little bit here and there of that, but you want to do more of that, and you really want to slide the notes here and there, like you don't want to just do a straight portamento where every note's sliding in the same value. You kind of want to every once in a while slide a note and stuff like that. And that kind of control, you'll get a lot more texture, especially if the sound design is done right. When you slide, the sound itself will do a little extra, you know, artifacts and characteristics if the sound is right. And if you're like going, if you're distorting into a compressor and stuff like that, you can really like like a clipper, a soft clipper, or a hard clipper, and you're compressing into that. You can EQ and you can get all this fun distortion that's not going to necessarily hit hit the limit or anything because it's already being clipped. But you can get some fun textures and stuff to the sounds. I think some of your sounds are just a little too plain. So that's one thing. And then I would work on also kind of what I was saying to the previous track too. I like a very wide mix, mainly because mixes have gotten very wide. It's not always necessary. Sometimes a wide mix on the wrong genre will make it sound unnatural. But in electronic music, I think the mix don't just go, from low frequencies to high frequencies. Also think panning left to right, and so you got the subs down low, the high frequencies up high, and then you got left and right. You got this whole 3D space to work with, and you got far in the distance and up close based on how much reverb and the volume and stuff. So really work with that 3D space and put stuff. It doesn't have to be a main sound over on the left or right, but the delays of sounds can kind of echo off to the left or the right, or just other little things. I like to put just background noise, like you would hear in lo-fi music and stuff like that, like static noise. I like to start a lot of my tracks. Doesn't even matter, even if it's not lo-fi. I like to start all my tracks with some kind of noise, and I don't know, it kind of pads the thing. But you can make that really wide, and it just automatically starts your track off with a wide, like atmosphere. Some things to think about. Good job, Pure. Thanks for submitting. I'm going to pass it over to Bleho.
All right. Yeah. So I think it is very interesting. No. So I'm gonna assume that Purelemon is still working on a smartphone. Is that right? That was Purelemon, right? I don't know if you guys know.
I think so.
Yeah. So the thing is, I was talking about that earlier. I always say, oh, it's pretty impressive that anything is possible on a smartphone. But I want to actually try it out, because you can hear how this is sort of made. I want to know what it takes to create what I expect of music with a mobile DAW. So I think I'm gonna download a free one, just like a random DAW I can find on the Google Play Store, and try it out because I want to see what's actually up. I want to see if it's that big a challenge as I think it is. Because to me, smartphones are annoying to work with in any way that you would want to work with them. They're fine for apps and for community stuff and whatever, stuff like that. I couldn't imagine working on them, like working on music. But things have changed. So maybe it's not that difficult. Maybe there's, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm just interested in that because I can clearly hear that there are major limitations with this, music. So musically, there's major limitations, and I'm wondering if that's all coming from. I wonder where it's coming from. is it an issue with the DAW or is it an issue with the creator? I'm not not to like put any like, oh, this sucks, Purelemon, not like that, but like what I'm wondering is what limitations are actually there, and where are they coming from? So I want to be able to better judge this, because if someone told me like this was done on a mobile DAW, I'd say, okay, I guess it's fine. I don't know what it takes to do that. So that's why I want to check it out. Basically, this was, again, a long way of saying I don't really know what to say. Because I feel like we've given Purelemon, I feel like we've given you a lot of feedback ever since you've been on the stream. I don't really see a lot of it being, taken and worked with. A couple of things are there which you've kind of like taken and sort of worked with to an extent, I guess. But yeah, I just want to see if these limitations are actually, if there's things that we tell you that aren't possible with mobile DAWs, or if it's, if it's just a different limitation. That's something I want to figure out. And then I'll give you more feedback, because, yeah. I guess it's fine. Again, it's like four loops playing all the time, and then a couple of patterns, to switch it up every now and then. It's it's a fine track. I could see it running on, I don't know, it could work for like a small game, like a Flappy Bird. Like a small mobile game. It could work for a small mobile game. It could work for like a random YouTube video. I it's not really music for listening. It's not really something I'd say, oh, let's sit back and have a glass of water and turn on the stereo and enjoy a bit of Metallic Midnight. It's not really, I don't feel like it's made for listening, for like just listening to it. Anyway, I've been rambling. I've gone 2 minutes over the time limit again. All right. So what do you think, Radium?
For what it is, I liked it. Like the beat, like the rhythm, got heavy. I agree, heavy video game vibes. Heavy. At some point, I was like 70s, 90s, but I think that's more like the sounds that were used and not the actual like rhythm and stuff. Only complaint is I agree, it's very repetitive. It's not something you would listen to for a long time because, again, it's repetitive, and at some point, you get tired of hearing the same pattern over and over again. And I'll be honest, I'm doing work right now. I'm working. So at some point, I went from focusing on the music to just letting it play in the background. It became like more background music, which is okay. If that's what you want to make, there are uses to background music. But yeah, it's very repetitive. If it's meant to be, leave it. If it's not, maybe change it up a little.
Yeah. Totally agree.
All right.
All right. Who do we got next?
Up next is... geez, that's super long. I can't read it. It's not fitting on the screen. Anyway. Okay, up next is All the Things You Are by Jazzerado, formerly known as Miro Test. Okay, did not read that prior. Anyway, have fun. All right. So that was All the Things You Are by Jazzerado, formerly known as Miro. Oh, that was. Oh, right. So I misread the name earlier. I had something. It wasn't Miro Test. That's because I have a placeholder there, artist, and I apparently didn't copy that over. So, all right. Anyway, Miro did leave us a note, which reads as follows: Dear feedback stream dream team. Oh, okay. I hope you enjoyed this interpretation of All the Things You Are. What do you think about my sax playing? How is the sound? How is the solo built? What didn't you like? What did you enjoy? Let me know what you think. All right. So, what did you guys think? What do you think, Gold?
Okay, so I enjoyed it, and let me. Okay, so I'm reading the note, or I was reading the note. So this is an interpretation of a standard. Is that what I'm? Is that right, Blaze? Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, it's a jazz standard. This is a uh I think it's a random playback he found.
For the what? The backing track, or
Yeah, the backing track. So it's not something he programmed. So focus on the sax playing.
the sax playing, and then the sax playing itself, being an interpretation, is like close to an original standard, but then he like elaborates and
Yeah,
like
so you
improvs a little.
have your standard, which of course has like a composed melody, and then you improvise. Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool. No, I really enjoyed it, and I've actually heard Miro heard you play this before, Miro. And this is definitely the best version of it. That little do do do. I mean, I've heard you play that a few times, so I know you've been working on it. I've even seen you working like tirelessly on practicing your scales and learning every scale, every position instead of like transposing or anything like that with your MIDI instrument or anything like that. You just learn every scale in the position like a real instrument. So, I mean, I know you're super talented, and I do enjoy this kind of music. Um, it's to me, I can't really get too. I would say that um, I would like the improv or the variations to be a little bit more. I'm not in the variations, but just the piece altogether. So I don't know what part was yours in the original because I'd have to hear the original. But I would like a little bit more. I don't know what you'd call it, but flair to the playing, like trills between the notes, and like a little bit more like growls to some of the notes, like woo, like a certain emphasis to really bring it alive. Some like certain note with the backing track, it's kind of hard because you're like locked to the beat. But I would like sometimes hold out a note longer than kind of go off and then, pause. What I know it's called, I can't remember what it's called, but a forte or something like that. Like just to kind of like add suspense, then come back and add just a little bit more. I think the backing track had a lot to do with it being just so. Eh. I don't know, but I like it. It's nice to listen to, but here's the problem: it's kind of like I see where Blade's talking about electronic music, but I mean, I definitely have a much greater appreciation for all styles of music as all, and I listen to a lot of electronic music. But when I listen to this music, I appreciate every part of it. I play instruments, and I appreciate every part of being able to play it because it just sounds so fun to play and enjoyable to listen to. But I honestly I can only listen to so much of this myself unless I'm just like putting on smooth jazz in the background, while I'm working or something and doing something and just want to listen to some smooth jazz or set a mood, get the house all clean, turn on some smooth jazz. It really sets a good mood. I love smooth jazz. I love different kind of jazz and stuff. But as far as like the cool factor and the edgy factor, it's just a little too mellow for me. It's a little too simple. It's a little too boring. You know what I mean? But you don't change it into electronic track to please me. I would say with a little, like I said, taking the track for what it is, adding a little bit more flair to the back track, adding a little bit more like runs where you run down the instrument and back up the instrument at just one time, or growling on some of the notes, or sustaining some, adding a little bit more surprise here and there, a little bit more excitement. Although it is supposed to be a chill track, but I'm just saying, like, it's to me lacking something to really suck me in. But I mean, we all know it takes a lot of talent to play that. So good job on that. Um, Thanks for submitting, Mira. I'll pass it over to Blair.
All right. Yeah. So to talk a bit about your playing, I mean this is over a week old, this submission, because we had to cancel last week's stream. So I'm pretty sure you've already improved further. You're making quick improvements, even if you don't always notice it. But I mean, we've talked a couple of times over the last week, and you've showed me something, and yeah. So this is a bit out of date. It's a bit outdated. Not the most accurate representation of what you're able to pull off right now, but just so everyone sort of knows what's going on here and what things Miro should put focus on there, and what he has improved on already is, of course, the intonation in the high register is it's very shaky as a whole. The stability of the tone, the pitch, so the intonation, it's very shaky, or was very shaky at this point in time. So the lower register you're more comfortable with. You're way more stable there. Have a much more developed tone. It's it's fuller, it's richer. It speaks better compared to the high register, where it's very thin and shaky. Some people would probably call it a bit squeaky, squilly, which is just down how to use your throat, your tongue, your lips, just the entire, like every single muscle, every single corner and thing in your body, basically, all the way down to the lungs, of course. So yeah, that's just stuff that takes practice. It takes a lot of practice, and it takes method. It takes experimentation until you sort of get what you're looking for, the kind of sound you want. I mean, then compared with technicalities of the instrument itself, all the fingerings and stuff, just getting comfortable with the instrument, knowing how you have to adjust all this to get the instrument in tune, especially if it's an instrument that's got issues with that. I mean, every instrument has some intonation issues here and there. Whereas with some, I mean, with student, like, beginner instruments, it's really horrible in some times, which actually makes it harder to play in some cases if it's really bad. But it's stuff you get used to. And then of course you have a lot of things to keep in mind when playing together with other musicians. It's difficult playing with a backing track because there's no communication really. But then again, with these jazz standards and these kind of playbacks, it's you don't really need that communication, because it's more for it's practice. It's practice. Of course, it's nicer if you actually perform together with other musicians. But for that, you'd want to be on a level where it would actually make sense to perform with others, and where you wouldn't have to be embarrassed, or things wouldn't go wrong all the time. Yeah, I love that we're seeing every week or every other week, we're seeing these updates to this progress. It's really interesting, because if you look back, you can use the feedback stream, and Miro has used the feedback stream as a sort of timeline to see how he's improved over time, and he did improve quite a bit. And sometimes he forgets, because we all forget. We think, oh, we're stuck. We didn't develop further. Our stuff isn't getting better. What's wrong? And then you listen to the stuff you did a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and it's like, I guess I did improve. And then if you take a look at the full picture, and you look at the first feedback stream that he submitted to, then there's a big change, a big noticeable change, mainly in tone, mainly in sound, and of course stability. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it's great. I think it's great watching that improvement. Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
so,
I love that.
what did you think, Radium?
Uh-oh. Oh, here she is.
Okay.
Oh, right.
I forgot I was muted. So I was saying, I have nothing bad to say. Again, I was doing my work and I was vibing. I love everything about it. Even the mistakes that you could hear, like running out of breath, the squeaky higher register. I was like, yeah, that's raw. I love it. So I have nothing bad to say. I was vibing to the music. And I liked that it was an improvement to the track we had like 2 weeks ago where it was very robotic. This felt very raw and very natural. So I have nothing bad to say. I'm happy.
All right, good job, Miro.
All right.
Okay, who do we got next?
All right. Up next is what's that? Oh, Gates of Heaven by Marro. Okay. Have fun. All right, so that was Gates of Heaven by Marro. I think that's how it's pronounced. I mean, there's they left
Marro.
They put a help for pronouncing it right there,
Right,
and
no.
I'm still not sure. Anyway,
Marro.
Okay, so Marro did leave us a note. Opinions if the beat is ready for rapping, if it's polished, if everything is in key, flows well, point at its flaws, etc. All right, so I thought that was a list of things we should look at, and then there was a call to action.
The list of demands.
Yeah, yeah. It started off as a list of things we should look at, and then a demand to look at them. So that's where I got confused, because I was trying to continue the list, but anyway, doesn't matter. Okay, so what did you guys think? What did you think, Guild?
All right, so this was a nice track. It definitely needs some work. But I like that in the notes you mentioned that you're gonna put a wrapper on it. So there's definitely a beat for a wrapper, not just some study beat or some background instrumental or anything. To stay, it's gonna be eventually a hip hop track or something. Um, I would say the track does have some frequencies in it, and actually, it's not even the frequencies. It's not the EQ you want to touch first. I think you want to do just a level with the mixes. You want to do another mix down on this track. There's some things just too loud, some things just too quiet, and it's hard to really say. But sometimes a lot of it's the effects. The effects don't need to be so prominent. Like effects could be kind of a background thing that kind of just add texture, like the reverbs, the delays, and things like that. This does have a lot of stereo image, like I was saying earlier for those other people. But the problem with this stereo image is some of the stuff on the left and right is actually still a little just. Eh, I'd have to listen to it again to be 100% sure about this, but I think maybe it's just a little too loud. Like you can have that stereo image with the stuff on the left and the right. Don't have to be louder than the stuff in the middle necessarily. And there are different styles of mixes, but in hip hop, I would say no. I think the beat needs to be pretty centered with some fun little instruments and shakers and stuff. Maybe here left or on the right, left speaker, right speaker, whatever. But let me tell you what I love most about it. So yeah, so again, the mix down needs work. Look up the pink noise mix technique. For those that haven't never heard of that, just Google pink noise mixing technique and watch some different people on YouTube talk about how to mix with pink noise. But you don't, it's not a technique you have to use every time. But if you're just to learn how to mix with pink noise, use that technique, it really kind of, and then take the pink noise off and listen to what your track, just the levels alone, just the volume. You just setting the volumes with the pink noise or whatever. You'll learn a lot about where things should be set, and even with your delays and stuff turned on, you'll kind of know where you kind of want to turn those down. But anyway, so look up mixing, do another mix down. But what I liked about the track was the guitar solo. I loved it. I think the guitar solo still could use some cleaning up. Maybe. I mean, depending on the vibe of the track. If you want to make the track a little bit more lo-fi hip hop with the rapper on it and stuff, it's still gonna be really nice. In the track, and the guitar can actually be kind of muffled and muted like that. It'd be kind of a lo-fi track. But what I would do with the guitar is introduce the guitar at the beginning of the track also, and then after you get the rapper on there, at the right time when the rapper's rapping, ad lib with the guitar a little here and there, just every once in a while. So the guitar doesn't just come out of nowhere. You want that guitar to kind of introduce itself earlier and say, "Hey, this is a guitar track," and the guitar is going to be in here because the guitar is what sold it for me. So sell the track early on with that guitar. So that's my advice. But yeah, I'm excited to hear it with the rapper. So when you get the rapper, please share it with us again. All right, what do you think, Blay?
All right. Um, yeah. So I think Gil talked about most of the things about polishing and stuff like that. So I'm gonna focus a bit more on if things are in key. I did okay. So the beat, like the foundation stuff is in key. But then you have two parts. You have a part somewhere in the middle, more towards the end, and then at the end you have two parts with, I think, both are guitar. The one in the middle is really quiet and far back. I think it's a guitar. It's a very yeah, I think it's a guitar. The guitar at the end, it's depends on how you see in key. I'd say it's there's moments that I could say they sort of work. They do make sense in a way, but they're also a bit messy. It's a bit. The thing is, they could work, but I'd utilize those moments a bit differently, and I'd lead into them and lead out of them a different way, so that it would make more sense. So there's parts where I was like a bit like, oh, what happened? Okay, I guess it works. Okay, it was a bit confusing. Then the middle part, there were moments where it's just that doesn't work. So I'd go back to those. They seemed very unintentional. The middle part's definitely unintentional. Out of place. The thing is, both parts could work, but they also seem sort of, yeah, I'm not sure, you know. Um, and the end part where you have this sort of downward motion near the end, this lightly arpeggiated downward movement. Yeah, there's some moments where like it works, what's that? Okay, it works. I guess yeah, it's sort of like that. So yeah, I'd look at those parts again. Um, yeah, definitely look at those parts again. Also, I don't know if you wanna rework the end because I think it's not really the most um polished ending you could have. Just the delay on the guitar. I don't know. It's a bit. Seems a bit
I think it
cheap.
could be
But
polished.
yeah, it seems
Yeah,
kind of cheaped out, a bit
I think the
rushed.
guitar could be. It's neat to hear guitar come back in music, and a lot of young people, I think, and just any people that
Yeah. No,
it doesn't have to be
I
young
meant
people, but a lot of people are gonna
yeah.
think it sounds. What I was gonna say is a lot of people are gonna probably like it at first, but if you were to go listen to all the greatest guitar solos through history and guitar tone and mixing, it's already been the bar's been set pretty high. So I would, yeah, work on polishing the tone. Sorry, Blake, I was just agreeing with you that the
Yeah.
guitar does need some,
Yeah,
some,
though
some slack.
what I was more focusing on was the end, the actual end.
Yeah,
this delay at the end. The ping pong delay at the end.
yeah.
Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
I don't know, just kind of cheap. It just seems unfinished, and you stop the recording, and the one of the reverb machines, one of the delay generators, just kept on going. Um, uh, I'd rework the layout, the arrangement of things. I would, like Guild said, I would like to hear the guitar early on in the track, and of course I'd like it to do more. It's not doing a whole lot, I think. Melodically, you don't there isn't really a melody in this. The guitar solos, they're just a couple of arpeggios over any key sort of. So there isn't really like a melody that would grab my attention. With I don't know what you're gonna bring in, with the rap, but what I like in rap, there's a couple of rap tracks that I do enjoy listening to. I guess they're kind of old school more, but they usually have a sort of hook, a melodic hook that sort of pulls you in, and that's the thing that you remember it by. I think you're missing that. I think it would be good here. You have a guitar, so you could, I'd, if I was making this, I'd have a strong melody in there, leading throughout the thing, and tell the story more. It's a foundation, of course, for someone to rap over it, but I'd still want to have that. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, what did you think, Radium?
Uh, okay. I was vibing to the song again. So I feel like this week my feedback is purely was I vibing or not. So I was vibing to the song. When you mentioned having a rapper on it, I wasn't sure 100% because I didn't see how a rapper would find a flow or a good rhythm to the song that would work to rap on it. So I'm either super close minded or maybe I didn't get the vibe, especially near the end when the guitar solo comes. Is it supposed to be like the ending of the song or is someone supposed to sing a hook on that? Or, I don't know. So I would love to hear the version of the song with a rapper on it. Maybe broaden my horizons. Maybe it will help me situate the song better. But other than that, I don't have much to say. I liked it as a pure listener doing something up with music in the background. I liked it. So I would really like to hear what a rapper would sound like on that because I got more of a lo-fi vibe than a rap instrumental vibe.
Yeah.
All right.
Like some chill vocals.
Right. So I think we should move on.
All right.
All right. So our next submission for today is going to be Ariana type beat, Love Last by Chika. All right. Have fun.
Chika on the beat. Chika on the beat. Chika on the beat. Chika on the beat. Chika on the beat.
All right. So that was Ariana type beat, Love Last by Chika. Okay. So, yeah, I think it's great that you have made a this. I'm gonna get to the notes in a second. I think it's great that you made a beat, type beat inspired by Ariana Greenblatt, which is the actor for young Gamora in Avengers: Infinity War, released in 2018. So
You got that wrong, Blake.
so good on that. I mean, Chika didn't leave a last name, so I mean, you know. Anyway, here is Chika's note.
Partial credit.
So this is a beat that is sold once. Oh, it was sold. Okay. I made it on Sunday. It is not mixed well. I know. I told the person if he wanted stems, he can have it. He didn't want the stems. I wish I want to. I wish I want to learn how to mix. What? You wish you want to learn how to mix? I mean, sure. The wish is granted. You may learn how to mix. I did some basic mixing, but that's it. It's an Ariana Grande. Oh, now it makes sense. Finally. Inspired beat. If you can tell, I added my
Blake
breathing.
was so confused.
Yeah, I was so confused. I had no idea. And stomps and 808s and so on. I just love this beat because it's so unique to me. We'll talk about that in a second. I think feedback would be most beneficial if it's on the mixing and such. But tell me if you like it or love it. I just don't know how to mix, even though I've been trying to learn for years. Yes, Bay, this is short. What? Yes, Bay, you're not confused because it's not short. What? Yes, I am confused. The feedback, the track. I don't know.
Now Blaze confused.
Yeah. All right. So, how did you guys think?
Okay.
What do you think, Geld?
Okay, cool. I'm glad that you want to know about the mixing because the mixing definitely does need work, and I'm glad I already brought up the pink noise technique, and I'm only bringing it up because it's fresh on my mind. I recently watched a YouTube channel, but I'm not new to it. It's actually what they call a boomer technique. It's a technique they used for years, but I advise everyone to look into it again. It's called the pink noise mixing technique. But anyways, Chika, you're saying you've been trying for years to learn how to mix. Well, maybe you should try that technique too. And what it is, I'll just tell people real quick, is you play pink noise, and don't just get any pink noise sample. You got to have a real pink noise because the one that comes inside a serum, and I'm just repeating what I heard. One that comes inside a serum is not just good pink noise for this mix technique. But anyways, go look for the right pink noise sample by Googling and all that stuff. You play the pink noise, and then you start with all your levels at 0, negative affinity, like you can't hear nothing. And then you start bringing up the most important elements first, or whatever, an anchor point, and you bring them up just loud enough where you start hearing it above the pink noise, and then you put it right back down where the pink noise is louder than it, where you can't hear it anymore necessarily. And if you do that to everything in your mix, believe it or not, it just gets you a really good starting point for your levels, your volume. And it's because of the way pink noise is balanced energy level, not actual. I guess you can look into that when you look it all up. But mix with pink noise, try that. Start out with setting all your levels with that technique. And then from there, you can go in and EQ things and adjust things based on taste and things that you think the pink noise just didn't do right. Good job. But try stuff like that, and maybe you'll get a little closer to mixing. And I would say, yeah, the mixing is the problem with this track. Another little bit of advice, though, with this kind of music, the reason why the rapper probably wanted you to leave it alone, because some rap beats, they're not mixed like mainstream pop or mainstream EDM. They're mixed like hip hop, and they do always kind of have like a lo-fi quality to them. Another technique I would advise, instead of using an EQ to cut off high frequencies, is actually downsample your samples. If you actually take a 16-bit sample down to like 8-bit, and sometimes it just kind of mess with things like that, it cut off the highs in a really warm way sometimes, and you got to actually do it right with some programs. You can just type in the values and downsample and stuff. But if you learn how to, find out how your program does that, but try to sometimes downsample samples is going to give you a lo-fi sound and a more of a darker texture, but actually still very modern. And you don't have to worry so much about mixing it with the EQ, which just kind of makes it, kind of ruins it. This track was a little muddy in some of the frequencies, so I'd work on that. But yeah, just work on the mix again. Try those techniques. And again, the rapper might be happy with the way it sounds because they might kind of like EQ it themselves or whatever. But you could definitely have given them a better mix. But you offered the stems, so it's up to them at this point. All right, so what do you think, Blay?
Right. Yeah. So first of all, congratulations on the sale. That's really good. That's really nice. Okay. So, yeah. So what I wanted to say, to this is, I mean, I found it to be, rather repetitive. I mean, I can tell that you're improving in terms of, mixing and mastering. You are improving. You're thinking more about it, but that's why you're noticing more things that are wrong with it. So that's definitely showing that you're improving, improving these assets. Yeah. So I wanna I mean it's an Ariana type beat. So I did look up Ariana Grande and listen to something just to see sort of because I listened to it and the things I knew from Ariana Grande whenever they showed up somewhere, they I wasn't at all reminded of those at all. So I thought it's not really related. So I looked it up, and so the first search result was let me actually pull it up, was Positions, which premiered not too long ago in October 2020. Um, and I listened to it, and I thought, oh, now I understand. It sounds the same. Um, um, I mean, Radiant's already complaining in the chat and saying it's not the same at
disagree.
all. Yeah, but I'm
Why
not
don't you all do a
talking.
little
I'm not
podcast
talking
section
about.
before I get
Yeah, but I'm not talking about the sound of it. I'm not talking about the synthesizer. I'm talking about the harmony and the melody. It's the same harmony is implied. You can't argue that. It's in the same key. You can't.
They'll get you for it.
Anyway,
You
it's
put
in
it
the
out, and they'll
same
get you
key.
for it. Yeah.
It's in the same key. The harmony is definitely implied. It's the same harmony. The tempo is different. Earlier when I listened to it, I tried to play them both in sync, but it didn't work because I just had them open in YouTube and stuff. So I couldn't get it synced up because it was in a different tempo. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna grab the files at the end of the stream and just overlay them and see how well they work together. They're super similar. It's fine. It's a type beat, whatever. I'm not gonna scream, "Oh, copy, plagiarism." I mean, I am, but I just did. But yeah, I guess it works. I guess you made a sale. I mean, yeah, that's one way to make money. So good job. I think that's great that you made money with music, albeit somewhat in the realm of a sound-alike, which, if you don't know, is a term I think probably mostly known in the film music industry. So when, bit of a lesson for everyone, music terminology, film music terminology. So sound-alike is when the director and the editors, they use temp music. Another word, temp music simply stands for temporary music. So it's music they have in like a library, or just, they may even go and grab this song by Ariana Grande and slap it on the edit while they're editing the movie. And then they go, okay, we don't want to buy the rights for this. So we're going to hire a film composer and tell them to, can you make something that is exactly like this, but also not, so we don't have to worry about copyright and stuff? That's a sound-alike. Okay, you learned something new. That's a sound-alike. It sort of feels like a sound-alike. If I was making a film and I had this track on there, and I said, okay, I don't want to pay $1 million to Ariana Grande just for the license. I mean, it wouldn't be that expensive, but they would probably make way more than that, because the movie is running and there's performance rights and stuff like that. Oh, what the fuck. Anyway, so yeah, then I'd go to someone, to you, Chika, and say, oh, can you make something that sounds just exactly like this? It has the same flair, has the same sort of idea and feel sort of to it, but just different enough so there isn't any copyright stuff. It's everywhere. It's being done everywhere, not just with music and stuff, but actually with other soundtracks. So sometimes you'll watch, I don't know, whatever Marvel movie, and you'll see a scene and they have super similar music to something else you've seen before. Yeah, that's exactly that. It's a sound-alike that was put there because they didn't want to pay for the license, or it's just it needs adjustment, but they wanted it to be like this, but then applied to this scene. So yeah. It's fine, but just you learned something new today, unless you already knew, then you didn't. Anyway, all right, what did you think, Radium?
I liked it. Yeah, I mean, you had shown it to me before, like a few weeks ago. Not the full song, but like the main gist of it. So I like it. I like how it sounded. I will it's gonna kill me, but I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember how it goes.
You just
And I
listen to
like
the
Ariana
Ariana
Grande,
Grande version
and
right
I
after.
like yeah, true. I have positions in my head because Blaze sent he sent the song you had listened to, and I was like, and now I don't remember your song, Chica. I'm sorry, blame Blay, but yeah, I liked it. I would love to see. I would love to have a singer on it. I don't see why you sent it to a rapper. Did you send it to a rapper? I don't know. I hope you didn't because I don't see that
I would have
working.
loved to know the story to the sale, actually. Yeah.
But I hope you sent it to a singer instead of rapper. I don't know. It's very similar current R&B era. So I really don't see someone rapping on it about shit that doesn't work. But other than that, okay, you didn't send it to anyone. Good. Find a singer. But yeah, it's a good song, but Belay has a point. It's a type beat, so it is more of a extremely inspired track. But I liked it. I'm surprised that you made something. It's good. I don't have much to say. It's very good. Yeah, I'm rambling. I just liked it. It's very good. Good job. You made a great
Good job, Chika.
type beat that
Yeah.
needs a singer.
Wait.
The only thing that's sad is I don't remember how it goes. Oops.
Okay, so a question about that. So Chika just said that she didn't send it to anyone, but it's said in the notes that
She sold it.
yeah, it was sold. So I'm confused. This is a beat that is sold once. So it was sold, right? I mean, Chika's here now, so maybe we'll get an answer. I mean, maybe not sold to a rapper, but I think it was talks about a rapper. Oh, wait, I did. You forgot the sale. How much did you sell it for? $5? How could you forget?
$5
Chika
beats are
wasn't
the
sure
best.
because she just got Hete. And it
She
was
just got
sold
here.
to a singer. What did you mean, Radium? To got Hete?
Here, it's a typo.
Yeah, but I'm
Well, he loves
I'm
to read
sorry.
things.
I love
He's a little-
It's a
to make
typo.
these. I love to make these jokes. I even
they're not dad
prepared the
jokes, they're Blade
stream.
jokes.
I even prepared the stream to pull up my Ariana Greenblood Young Gamora joke. I made
He
a
wrote that.
thing just for that joke. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Oh,
that Blade
Chika,
brings some
rewatch that.
chops
Rewatch that part. I think it's funny. I don't know. Maybe he'll be upset. Anyway. I think we should move on now. All right. Our final submission for today is going to be R3 Asen by Kitsune 3 Pover. Have fun.
Just give me a reason, just give me a reason to fight. Just give me a reason, just give me a reason to hide. Just give me a reason, just give me a reason to fly. Just give me a reason, take me to the other side. Just give me a reason, just give me a reason to fight. Just give me a reason, just give me a reason to hide. Just give me a reason, just give me a reason to fly. Just give me a reason, take me to the other side. Take me to the other side. Just give me a reason, just give me a reason to fight. Just give me a reason, just give me a reason to hide. Just give me a reason, just give me a reason to fly. Just give me a reason, take me to the other side. Just give me a reason, just give me a reason to fly. Take me to the other side.
Okay, so that was Reason by Kitsune Power. All right, so Kitsune did leave us a message, which goes as follows. Finally, a change up from recent submissions. Anyways, I took what was said last week, which was 2 weeks ago because we had the last week's stream missing, and a little bit of inspiration, and this popped up. All right, so what did you guys think? What did you think, Geld?
Okay, yeah, definitely different than your normal stuff, which is I wanted to hear that for a while. I mean, I understand when producers want to, stay in a certain style, and I don't blame people for that, especially if it's like a main genre in the EDM world, like four to the floor. That's, the house genres, anything four to the floor. You can't take the four on the floor out of it without leaving the genre in a sense, or that style. And all your tracks have been four to the floor. That stuff comes from the disco time. The steady beat, boom, boom, boom. It used to dummy with the cowbell and other things, and then it became the kick drum. And then the
Make
offbeat
one
hi-hat.
3/4 time. Do it.
Yeah, you can do the fun. You can do the fun psytrance stuff with the triplets. Is always fun. But still with the 4/4
No,
beat
3/4
underneath it.
time, not
Right.
triplets.
That would be different. No, I know. I'm just saying you can still do the 3/4 to get off, but the 3/4 time would not work in the trance world because you couldn't mix with any other track unless you had two 3/4 time tracks to mix together.
Cares? Who cares?
Well, I'm
Just
saying in
do
the
it.
DJ world.
Change the genre.
Well, make a new subgenre is what it would do.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but I feel like I want to talk about this with you because I'm sorry, I really shouldn't interrupt, but this is kind of important to me. I never hear 3/4 time in any electronic thing, like never. Like if it happens, it's super. I don't remember. I don't remember something. Maybe you know something, but I don't remember a single thing.
I don't. I just think that it doesn't work in there. I mean, I get it would make a neat song. The song would be great.
Work.
And it would totally work if a DJ dropped it at the right time and people would be like, wow, I've never heard anything like this.
But okay, I shouldn't say
well,
that.
here's the thing, Blake. Come on. We're talking to... Yes, everyone has opinions about things, but the reality is this music is played by DJs on the dance club and dance floor.
Sure.
So you can't just...
But not everything. I mean, why can't
not
one producer make something that is not playing on the dance floor?
Well,
I mean,
Kitson might do that next year or maybe 3 years from now. You know what I mean? All I'm saying is I would like to hear that too, and I would make it myself for fun. I'm just saying in the greater sense of the thing, when things are just going in any scene or vibe or style, there's just things Not that it has to be done that way. It's just being done that way, and that's why it sounds that way. The 3/4 time song would be great, and to drop it, it would not mix into a 4/4 track time unless you were really good with some kind of poly timing. But DJs will mix one song into the next. Endless mix is what they do. So they have one song playing, both the other song stops, and they're lined up perfectly. And so that's why they're so formulaic and stuff. Yeah, again, this is why they do that, but it's also why all these problems that arise too, with just the repetitiveness and stuff like that, because everyone's trying to have that DJ friendly track. But anyways, you can do 3/4 time to make an interesting track, but in this was not a 3/4 track. So I mean, yes, someone can always take the time to make a 3/4 track, but there's also going to be all the times where you don't, and you make a 4/4 or a whatever. Anyway, so back to what I was saying. He usually Kitson usually does make a straight 4 to the floor house style track, which again, house music does need that beat. Dude, they trance on it, boom, 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 boom. But anyways, this is not that. You did something different. This is what I would call a halftime beat or something like that. There's many different names you can call it, but it's just basically a chill beat, a chill track or something like that. But what happened though is I don't think the same techniques that you use for mixing the other style of music, your other tracks, like carried over to this, because it's not mixed like your normal tracks are either. This is kind of, the volumes are all over the place. It seems like a lot of the tracks today, the volumes were not, the levels are not balanced, set right. That's the most important part in the mix, is the levels, just the volume. Yeah, if something has way too much low end that doesn't need to be there at all, you can cut that low end off. But I mean, most stuff's not going to have it unless it's a synthesizer, and that you just need to cut it off to begin with. Things just recorded, you can clean up a little bit of the low end here and there. Maybe get a little boost here if it's not bright enough or something, but you don't actually want to touch any of that until you get the levels set right, volumes, and even the panning and stuff. But make it get the volume set right. But I would say it's just the vocals were too washed out with the reverb. Cool effect though, if you really want everyone to know, like, hey, I want this just to be just a super reverbed out track, which maybe that's what you're going for, because it's that would be like the 3/4 thing to me. Like, that's an artistic choice that you would not hear in the mainstream of this genre all the time. They would clean up the vocals, but doesn't mean you can't do that. You can. Great group I used to listen to all the time named Crystal Castles. The singer's vocal style was literally to distort her vocals with distortion pedals and drown it with so much reverb that the whole song was just this wash of reverb. But these songs were amazing. She was really creative. So it's a technique you can use, but I would say honestly in this one, I don't know if that's what you're going for. I would pull back on the reverb on the vocals, sidechain maybe the reverb with the dry signals. So when the vocals come in, the reverb actually kind of gets ducked, but then it comes back in when the vocals stop. It still has the same effect as the reverb, but actually it's a lot cleaner. So I would try things like that. Yeah, it's really simple. There was a lot of space. You could have added stuff, more vocals maybe, or other little synths and stuff like that. I would work on the mix, and you'd actually have a much better idea of what this track is going to sound like if you get the mix tighter and not so just very wet mix. You need to tighten it up, I think. But yeah, and just one last thing, Blake. I love experimental. I wouldn't call it experimental. I also get your point on, like, not think about genres, just be free, play some notes, put it in any order that sounds good, go with it, explore, make great music, play melody harmonies, and really just grow an interesting piece of music. But it's sad to say that the only people that actually listen to that stuff are not that everyone's not intelligent, but they call it intelligent music, because your average listener doesn't like to just they don't listen to that stuff because it's almost too much for them to pay attention to.
Wait.
And stuff.
Wait. So
it's called
if I make
intelligent
a
music.
track in 3/4 time, it's automatically intelligent. Oh.
If it's an electronic, yeah, you're thinking outside the box. You're not just following the same. They would call that electronic. It's your average listener doesn't listen to. Your average listener listens to the simple stuff. The pop music, the simple cliche stuff. They done studies, and I'm not going to call anyone not intelligent, but I'm saying they've done studies that the people that listen to more thoughtful music and classical music and things like that tend to have higher IQs for whatever that matter may be. So I would say I do think that there's a level of a desire to listen, to take on the listening experience to another level, and really like a regular 4/4 beat's going to be boring to some of those people, because it's just it's just too boring.
I really don't think people would even fucking notice if it's the same people that that don't care and whatever, they probably wouldn't
Yeah, a
notice.
good song
It's
is a
not
good
like,
song.
I mean, here's the thing, and you talked about, oh, but it can be used for like DJing and stuff. No, it fucking can. You can start with 4/4 time and then transition into a 3/4 time. It's not like time signature changes can't happen. It's just interesting music, and
it's been
it
done.
won't ruin the dance floor stuff. It would totally work. I mean, music in 3/4 time you can dance to any fucking music, and music in 3/4 time is traditionally used for dance quite a bit. I mean, just look at the waltz, for example. It's usually in 3/4 time, for instance, 6/4 time, whatever. Um, that's a dance specifically.
It's a dance play, but it's not what's trending. It's not. I didn't
it's
say
not
not
what-
to do it. I
Wait,
just
I'm
said
not
it's not
talking
what's
about. I'm not
trending.
talking about what's trending. I'm talking about
I'm talking about these people are trying to make trending
I'm not
music.
talking about you have to make a waltz to make anything in 3/4 time. That's not what time signature is. But what I said, it is possible to dance to this music. It is.
I'd like to hear a 3/4 club track. I don't know what it's going to sound like. And honestly, I'm not even thinking about what it would be. You use the same sounds, the same level of mixing with heavy kick drum, heavy bass, a wobble wibble bass, and some crazy hi-hats. Do it in 3/4 time. Make it sound good. I'm sure people will vibe to it, and it'll be a very unique track. And if it caught on, more people would copy it. And then all of a sudden you have this whole 3/4 subgenre of EDM. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying.
Honestly, the only reason why it's not being done is because people are fucking limited and don't listen to anything outside of their tiny perspective. They don't care. They don't look outside of the music. They just consume. It's disappointing. Because I'm sure a lot more people would do it if they'd actually looked to where everything came from, where everything originated from, and how music actually can behave, and just not even where things originated, but what's actually going on at the same time as they are working. It's just people being limited again. It's just people not wanting to explore new things. It's people wanting to stay with what is already known to work. It's all about this business.
It's totally true, Blake. But you
Anyway.
like to take out a lot of your. Yes, you're totally accurate. But give these people time. Give the members time to get to that level of production where they go. Okay, I'm tired of making.
I'm talking about the entirety of the industry. It's not like it's not
why
an
we
issue
gotta
on
have a
MPA. It's an
podcast
issue in
discussion.
general. Who's working? I mean, it's not like you. I hate getting stuck up on these music theoretical bullshit stuff. I fucking hate it. I hate this stuff. Why don't you use the 3/4 time? Or why did you use Did you use leitmotif? I don't fucking care. Who cares? I don't care about music theory. It's
I would
just
argue-
fucking annoying. But
Exactly,
how
but
can you
I would
make
argue-
music so fucking uninteresting all the time? You have all these methods. You have all these things that have been explored for years, for hundreds and hundreds of years. Why isn't anyone like picking up on those? It's like such a. It's just so degenerative.
Blake. I get
Anyway.
it. People are. I think there are people out there. It's just not being heard on the mainstream yet.
It's
Unfortunately,
not even about. Oh well.
I get where you're coming from. It's frustrating. You're frustrated. And you want to let it out here on stream. I would argue though that Kit Sunpowered wanted this track to be 4/4. Yes, he could have made it 3/4, but he wanted this one to be 4/4. Now, in the entirety,
I'm not even. I
know,
didn't.
but we're
bring
giving
it
Kit
up
Sun
because-
feedback.
Yeah, I didn't bring it up because of Kitsune specifically. I brought it up because you were talking about it, and I thought, yeah, why the fuck not? That's the only reason why I got you there.
You're right. I think that's a really creative thing that people need to do in their DJ mixes, and it can definitely be done. You can just switch over to the 3/4 track, and if you just do it right, it can be done right. Especially if there's a part of the 3/4 track where it's no beat and it's just the melody and you're kind of like chopping it in with a DJ check. But I'm just saying, in the DJ world, actually DJing professionally and DJing dance floors and stuff, yeah, you're just filling up your thing with tons of music in a certain subgenre, and you're playing that kind of set that night. And whatever set it might be, a dubstep set, house set, a trance set, a future bass set, or whatever it might be, and you fill up your whole thing with 50 tracks and you hit the dance floor. But yeah, the best DJs will just go from any beat to any beat. They'll throw a rock song in there. They'll throw some classic song in there. They're really good at what they do. So a DJ can be really creative with how they mix the stacks. But a DJ is just a disc jockey. They're just playing the tunes. They're not necessarily always the producer. So, anyways, yeah, I think the day that the pop channels and the pop charts are playing music that pleases Blay, it's gonna be a great day.
I mean, it's not about pleasing me. It's about just fucking doing anything.
Leaving
you
the
know?
world.
It's about
You can.
yeah. I mean. Anyway,
Save the planet.
I'm gonna talk about this at some other time. Anyway, my feedback for Kitsune specifically, that is not to do with 3/4 time or anything, is yeah. So I mean, you did take to heart what we said. I mean, I think we talked a lot about your voice and the singing. I think I talked a lot about we talked a lot about autotune and stuff. So I think it's great that you utilized that you took that criticism to heart and try to make something that doesn't use autotune or doesn't use it to that extent, and keep the voice more natural. I mean, there's shit ton of reverb on that, but it's good that you kept it a bit more natural, I think. However, you just need practice. You need to actually, if you want to sing, you need to train your voice. You need to learn how to use your voice. You need to practice singing. That's just, yeah. There's no getting around that. You need to practice. Because that's just, that's not something you just, I made this track. It's been like, I don't know, 3 months. Let's just grab the mic and sing. No, that doesn't work. You need to practice. You need to practice daily. I mean, look at Miro's improvements on the saxophone. That's not just getting handed out for free. It's not just something you just pick up somewhere. It takes dedication. I mean, Miro's practicing pretty much every day, I believe, for multiple hours. Yeah, it takes dedication. Just learning an instrument, your voice is an instrument too. It takes dedication. It takes practice. You need to spend a lot of time training your voice, so you're not shaky. You're stable. You can. It's not just about holding the pitch. I mean, you're struggling a bit with that. It's a bit shaky. But it's not just about that. It's also about expression. It's about tone, the tonal quality. These are all things that need to that only come with time, with practice. If you actively practice your voice with singing lessons, specific. There's a bunch of things you can do. A bunch of like different. I'm gonna call them training sessions because I'm dumb. I forgot the word. But there's a bunch of stuff you can do to train your voice, and if you do it regularly, you can develop a voice, and then you'll be able to sing clean, and you don't need the autotune and whatever, and you don't have to hide the voice so much in the back because it was really hidden away. I couldn't understand the lyrics at all. I think if I wanted to hear it, I could hear reason to blah blah whatever. A couple of things I could understand sort of, but yeah. I mean, keep practicing. Keep practicing.
For sure.
It's like learning an instrument. It's not just something you like. Yeah, it takes a lot of practice, especially singing. It takes a lot of practice. Okay. So what did Radio think?
Jump.
All right.
Let me jump in real
just
quick,
one
'cause
thing. Wait, hold on.
just-
One thing for the viewers, because it was for the listeners. It was discussed with Kitsune Power in the chat. There will be a challenge because apparently I challenged Kitsune to make a track in 3/4 time. So Kitsune's going to make a track in 3/4 time.
That's cool.
And my part of the challenge is going to be to make a track with a mobile DAW, as I said earlier, with Purelemon. So we'll see if that will all work out till next week.
Cool. Hey, I was gonna just comment. Talk to Sixzu because asking to submit a track. Sixzu, and I think Radium just typed. We have a submission form that we post in the Discord. The Discord link is on top of our YouTube page. So join our Discord. Submit a track for next week. We're actually about to finish this one off. We submit during the week, and then we'll listen to it next Friday. So see you over at the Discord, and thanks for coming to our stream. All right, Radium, what'd you think of
All
KP's
right.
track?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. You did the transition. I'm sorry. I didn't even notice.
What's the Discord? The Discord is on top of our YouTube channel. So just go to our YouTube channel. Just click on our music production Amino down there. And, control click it. Open a separate tab. You'll see the Discord link at the top of our channel.
Yeah. All right. So Radium. I think Radium's lagging, but maybe it's resolved. I don't know. Maybe not. I think not. Okay.
Nope.
Oh, nice. Okay. Radium. Wait, I think it was actually a no to it being resolved, I think. Is it resolved, the issue?
No, I don't think so. Wait,
I mean, I can hear you.
it's lagging a little bit when y'all speak, so I'm just gonna be quick.
Right.
I'm just gonna keep my feedback short to what I've noted for the song, for the vocals. Number one, the song. There's so many things in the song that are completely off the rhythm of the beat, especially the drums at the beginning. Like, did you forget to play your instruments? Like, why is it so off the rhythm sometimes? And I don't think it's because of the genre. Like, I genuinely think it's off rhythm. Like, sometimes it's the sound, sometimes it's the drums, sometimes it's the singing. So, like, go listen to the song with a metronome, because on that it's not working. Now the vocals, you sound very nasally, like you're really singing in the nose, and sometimes it's a style, sometimes it's just your voice. But I feel like in your case, it's really you singing in the nose, maybe too much. So I'd look into it, and if I could give you advice on how to train your voice, do it step by step. It's something that I've learned that works really well. I have to retrain my vocals, and I've been able to pinpoint a lot of issues. And something that I do is that I pinpoint the issues one by one. So first of all, breathing control. Learn how to breathe. Second of all, learn how to close your vocal cords. Third of all, do exercises for your higher register. If you want to sing, or at least add more singing to your songs, because I know you're gonna pimp out your vocals anyway, because you make EDM and that's what y'all do. I really recommend pinpointing the issues one by one, the most important ones, to the ones that can come later. Don't learn how to run, don't learn how to do riffs, don't learn how to do falsettos. You don't need that. Focus right now on breathing control, how to breathe, what position you need when you sing, and something for to reduce the fact that you sound very nasally, because sometimes people will just sound nasally, and sometimes it's going to be too much. And there were many times in your song where you could really hear how nasal it sounded, and it wasn't cute. So that's what I can recommend you. If you want a playlist, if you want to know what YouTube videos you could watch, I have some stuff I can send you that I like and that has worked for me. And something else you can do is get feedback for your vocals from honest friends who are really gonna tell you what's going on. And personally, it helped me, and I think it can help you too. So I'm just gonna focus on that.
All right. Yeah. I think that's brilliant feedback. All right. Okay. So I think that was all of the submissions for today. So yeah, I think our guild probably wants to do the end stuff. Unless guild left us, I don't know. Maybe I'm alone.
Oh, you know what? I was trying to do the end stuff, but my microphone was muted.
Oh,
no, I don't
okay.
mind if you close out the stream, but I'll definitely do some announcements.
I don't have anything
before
to
you
say.
sing.
I don't have the updates,
right.
so.
Okay, cool. Well then, just as a reminder to everybody, please join our Discord, and if you haven't already, and there's will be a new submission form for the feedback stream there for next Friday. You can submit your track there to come back next Friday. We do this every Friday at 8 p.m. UTC. That's 4 p.m. Eastern time. And okay, and then tomorrow we have the MPA production stream. I want to make those more focused on MPA things. If I don't have anything, like one week, Super Z Russell submitted some samples to me, and it was really fun because it was kind of. So that's what I really want. I want to either work on some kind of community challenge. Maybe I'll do a 3-4 thing tomorrow. Some kind of community related thing. So it's an actual community string and not just me streaming production because everybody does that. So definitely on the Saturday MPA production stream, that's our Twitch channel. The Twitch channel is doing good. I just love that platform, and it seems to be some organic growth there. So let's lean into that and grow our Twitch channel. We've gained 77 followers since production stream number 1, and now we're on production stream number 9. So that's pretty good. All right, so catch me on the MPA production stream tomorrow on Twitch. Again, that's 8 p.m. UTC. Honestly, come at 7 p.m. UTC. I sometimes start an hour early. I'll put out a notification. Just depends on how much time I got tomorrow. So, anyways, other than that, I'll see everyone back in the community. Thanks for everyone for being here. Thanks Belay Hub for streaming. Thanks Radio for being here for the feedback and giving your feedback. And everyone in the chat for sharing as well and submitting your tracks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.